Good evening, wherever you are listening from. You know what I'm about to say. Did you miss me? Did you miss me? I hope you did. I missed you too. Yes, Miss T got a brand new name, but the same story. It's called T Unapologetically. And you know I'm finna give it to you real, no chaser at all time. So let me get through these church announcements. For those who are joining T Unapologetically, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You could have chose any podcast, but you decided to listen to me. And my hope is that what I say or what stories I tell will help you to tell your stories unapologetically. And for those who have been faithful rocking with me, I am so glad that you started to kick it with your girl T. Thank you for the support. Also, you can follow me on my YouTube channel, Unapologetically T. Ooh, I gotta go. T Unapologetically. I'm getting used to it. T Unapologetically. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and also Amazon, wherever you listen on your podcast. So let's get to these church announcements. And make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification button. Okay. So here's some church announcements. Now we have a new podcast coming on the scene with the Gangster Lean, and it's called Lyrics and Beats Podcast. It's with my girl Natasha Malone and my other girl Jordan, and they're going to be talking about music. You know, some of the albums that a lot of people kind of discard. So go on their YouTube channel, support these sisters, and it's called Lyrics and Beats with a Z. And let's see. Now, that's all my church announcements. And also, one big thing if you are a person, business owner, or you would like to tell your story, please feel free to email me at unapologetically at gmail.com. I really want to hear from you guys. And also, if you have any events, whether it's in Memphis or abroad, make sure you email me so I can shout you out. Now, today I have a guest, which is my girl for 25 years. And I thought about it. I'm like, dang, 25 years, black don't crack unless you smoke it. And I promise her I won't cry, but I am gonna cry. So my girl A Nicole is on the mic today. And let me tell you a little something about A Nicole. Okay. A. Nicole is a Tennessee native with is a dynamic principal advisor, collegiate inter, in, engagement mentor, and motivational facilitator, dedicated to empowering individuals to build strong foundations for success. Recognizing the challenges people face daily, she created a platform that equips individuals with tools to navigate life's adversities and experience. A. Nicole inspires others to embrace their journey, reminding them that life is not about finding yourself, it is about crafting who you want to be. Church Preach Tabernacle, girl. Her mission extends beyond coaching, and she provides affordable one on one personal development, startup business, and coaching, and helping individuals with their vision, with turn their vision into action. Additionally, she amplifies voices through the A. Nicole magazine. When real stories of faith and perseverance are shared across the industry, committed to community impact, she collaborates with organizations such as SCORE and Teach for America to foster growth and give back in meaningful ways. So, I present to some and introduce to others. My girl, hey Nicole, clap it up for her, clap it up for her, clap it up for her. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up for my girl. Yeah, we gonna get through this. Hey, podcast is a podcast. We gonna clap. We gonna wait. We gonna wait. Like I said, she is definitely super dynamic. There we go. All righty. Hey, hey, us aunties. This is new technology now.
Yes, yes, yes. My bad, my bad.
Oh, no, you good, you good, you good. Trust me, I didn't shoot, I done messed up a couple of times, so you good. Um, so as I said in the beginning, it's been 25 years we known each other.
This crazy.
That
We
is
that we
crazy.
that old.
Nah, we that young. Black don't crack. I
Mm.
always say black don't crack unless you smoke it. Uh,
Well, that's true. That's true. That's true.
but I want to say she probably heard it before, but I want to tell the whole world. One thing I love about this sister here is she has been supportive all these years. And she is a very positive person. And she likes to put people out there to expand their greatness. And hopefully, you don't cry what I'm about to say.
Girl, I'm gonna click. How you turn this camera off? Mic off. Everything.
No, 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 no. Look, stay in it. Stay in it. um, One thing I can say to you and everybody else, it was at one point I was actually about to walk away from my podcast. I've been podcasting for 4 years. And then I got into this whole thing of looking at everybody else and the fancy equipment in the studio. And you did a story about my mom. And little did I know, in A Nicole magazine, got to check that out. You did a story about my mom, and I looked through, and you had my podcast on there. And I was like, I said, oh my God. And I want to say, you actually inspired me so much to get back on this mic. I was about to walk away from it because I'm like, nobody want to hear my story and everything else. But you have definitely inspired me to get back on the mic, and I love you and I appreciate you. If it wasn't for you, supporting me and pouring into me in times where I was crying and weeping, and you like, girl, you gonna do it, you gonna do it. And like I said, I wouldn't be back on T unapologetically if you didn't pour into me. See, I didn't cry. I didn't cry.
Girl, I'm over here like, okay then, girl. I'm not. I don't have time. Okay,
Of
okay.
course, of course, of course. So like I said, we're gonna get into some real talk. But first I'm gonna let her have the floor. She has an event coming up. Of course, due to the winter storm, it's been rescheduled, and I want y'all to be careful. Don't I already know y'all bought up everything in the store. So
Indeed, couldn't get a thing, but anywho.
so she has an event in planning, and I would like for you to talk about your event.
All right. So yes, the event that I have coming up is a slight like a vision board party, but it is for professionals, content creators, or people who just want to kind of figure out what they are trying to do in 2026. It is called Vision, Strategy, Execution, the Clarity Room. And so actually what we're going to do, we're going to get in the what did I say on my TikTok today? We're going to get in the dirt and work. We're going to try to figure
Mm,
out what it is that you want to do. Because a
mm,
lot of times we push side hustle, or you need to open up a business. You need to have what do they say, seven streams of income. But that may not be what you want to do. And so we're going to open up the vision that God has imparted in you, and let's create a strategy for that. Because the thing is, you may create a vision board, but what do you do after the vision board? What's the
yeah.
strategy after that? How do you execute what you put on the vision board? So we're gonna get in the clarity room and put some clarity to that vision board that you created. And then we're also going to have a time where you're going to be able to take some headshots, because I believe that everybody, I don't care if you have a business or not, you should have a headshot because you are the brand. You're a walking
Mhm,
billboard.
mhm,
If you work at a corporation and they may say, "Hey, do you have a headshot for us to put on the Rolodex?" Or say, for instance, you're gonna speak on a panel and they say, "Hey, do you have a headshot for us to, put on our social media platform?" And you're like, "Oh, well, I have a selfie." We don't want a selfie. We need a headshot. So you should be able to carry yourself well. So get you some headshots. So that's what the event is going to be like. But due to the weather, we're going to reschedule it so that everybody can be safe. I don't want anybody slipping and sliding and saying, "I was trying to get to your event." No,
mhm.
absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely need some professional headshots. The last time I had some headshots, I was every bit overweight and pink hair. So
We got to redo
yeah,
that. We
we
got to
gotta
redo
redo
that.
that. We gotta redo that. But one thing I gotta ask, and a lot of the viewers that's watching, what inspired you to start a Nicole Foundation?
I used to work for Shelby County. Well, no, no, no. I used to work for Memphis City Schools. Okay.
That part.
And this was back in 2014 when Shelby County and Memphis City Schools merged together, and I actually got laid off.
Mm,
And so I was just like, okay, all right, what am I supposed to do with this? And so I remember during that time, right before I got laid off, I kept saying, I want to do something different. I don't know what I want to do, but I want to do something different. Right during that time, I started to work temporarily for a nonprofit organization. And I had a coworker, and she was like, "Girl, I think you need to call yourself A. Dot Nicole." And I was like, "Okay, girl, whatever." But at that time, I was sitting at a desk, and I had never worked a desk job. Keep in mind, I worked um, at a school. I was teaching school for 10 years,
mm,
teaching teenage mothers,
mm,
and my heart was for teenage mothers. I love teenage mothers. And so leaving the school was a heartbreak for me. But I mean, I got laid off. So what was I supposed to do? So transitioning from teaching school to a nonprofit and also sitting down all day, I had time to think. And my coworker at the time, she was like, "Girl, okay, your name gonna be A. Dot Nicole, because my name is Alexandria Nicole."
mhm,
And I was like, "Okay, so what am I supposed to do with that?" And God says, "I need you to help those teenage mothers." So at the time, I created an organization called A Woman's Release. And that organization was supposed to help teenage mothers and young women, you know, just help them to become better women overall. And I created a back to school event, to give them school supplies, to give them clothes for their children, just to help them, give back to the community. So that is how A. Dot Nicole came about, just wanting to be a help to the community. If anybody knows me, I love to give back to the community.
yes.
That's how I started. My coworker gave me the name A. Dot Nicole, and I lost my job. Now it was been 13 years ago, and I literally had time to sit down at a desk, because when you're moving and grooving
Mm,
for so long, you don't have time to think. So when I lost my job, I had time to sit down and create a plan. God was like, "Hey, I need you to sit down, create a plan, and figure this thing out, because now you don't got nothing to do. So the things that you probably have been wanting to do, you have time to think."
mm.
So that's how A. Nicole became.
That's what's up, and it's so funny how our lives runs parallel. When I started with the Book of Tiffany, which was my blog, and coming
Mhm.
out, my whole thing was, okay, I'm finna tell everything about myself because I don't want
Mhm.
nobody lying over me in my
Hello.
casket. I want some people like object. Nah, that didn't happen.
Mhm.
And when I started, I was almost in the beginning stages of my divorce. And I felt like I
Mm.
needed to get this out. And most importantly, one of the main inspirations is that I wanted my daughter to know stuff about me,
Yeah.
everything out there. So when I started the blog, My closest friends like, "Girl, you went there?" I said, "Yes, I did." And it grew in the podcast actually came from my babe, John, and he was like, "You need to do a podcast." I'm like, and this is what 2021, podcasting was like a new thing. So I got my little
Yeah.
mic and I was just talking about stuff and I decided to do my podcast in the midst of my divorce because
Mm.
I didn't want to talk about it, you know, after the fact. I wanted to talk about it right then and there. And, and trust me, if you look at the previous episodes, you'll know. And when I
Yeah.
came up with the name, starting with Unapologetically T, T is my nickname, and this is why it's so sacred. If you knew me growing up in Lakeview Gardens, shout out to Lakeview Gardens, or you
Hello.
were in my family, everybody called me T. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, if you went to Whitehaven, it was Tiff Tiff. So I always saw that name was very endearing. And then my grandmother named me that TT. So when I decided to do this podcast, I said, you know what? I want the whole world to know who I am.
Yeah.
Not Mrs. Harris, not, 2 degrees, not, Mari's mom. Not I said, I want to open and pour my soul and let
Yeah.
people know who I exactly am. And,
Yeah.
going forth, I started talking about real things in real time. And my inspiration was I want to tell my story for 2 reasons. One, to help those that are afraid to tell their story. Everybody
Yeah.
got a story. They are
Everybody.
afraid to tell their story. So,
Yeah.
and also, like I said, I opened up this platform and I say, look, this platform is not about me. It's about you.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that feel left out, the ones that feel abandoned, the ones that still dealing with they're still dealing with trauma, you know, to come on this platform.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I said, and here's another thing, Alex. Remember my old tagline that says, you have the right to tell your story. Don't give anyone
Yeah.
the right to tell it for you. Here's the
Yeah.
secret of that tagline. When I was doing my blog, my husband, uh, my husband, uh,
Husband is crazy.
ooh,
But I got you.
ooh, yeah,
I
yeah.
feel
Look,
you.
she know, but my husband, I was writing stuff about my blog, and I was like, I'm gonna talk about our relationship, and he was like, I don't think you should talk about that because people would read it. And I was thinking to myself, you trying to dictate my story. This is
Mm-hmm.
no, it's not going down like that. So
Yeah.
that's where the unapologetically came from. Cause I'm like, I'm not gonna apologize for nothing that I say or nothing that I do. So that's why I am so happy that you are on here. And everybody that's out there listening, I want, if you have a story, please come on here. It's no judgment at all. I don't judge because, you know, I always say, ye who's at, like, as they say, ye who's at sin, cast the first stone. And
Hello.
I say this, don't worry, I wait. But
You are so crazy.
I know this is, trust me, I've been like this since high school. It's just
We know.
theirs.
We
Theirs is
know.
different. So we gonna dive into something. Uh, what was your first memory of me? I know it's 25 years ago. I wonder if it's the same.
25 years ago. I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this. Let me see.
That's why I said unapologetically.
My first memory. Oh my God, he's married now.
Look, don't say no names. But look,
Okay,
look,
okay, okay.
we
So
know,
the
we
first
know.
memory, oh my God, it was in chemistry class. I believe it was Miss Jennings.
Yeah, yeah.
Baby, you was dating this guy, and I don't know what you said to him, but I just remember turning around saying, asking him, did he need some gum? I remember saying that to him. And see, the thing with me is I didn't really fool with nobody at this school because
Mhm.
my mouth was too small, and I always too grown. I was too grown growing up. I was
Mhm.
very grown, and see, people didn't really like it because I was too grown.
Mhm.
But anywho, I digress. But you asked me my memory of you, and I don't know what you said. I just know that whatever you said, it was some kind of altercation between you and him. And then I turned around and I said, you probably need some gum or something. And so I was like, how did I get into
Look,
they little
look,
swirl that they had going
look,
on?
how I get into this?
And so I was just like, from that point on, I was like, that's my girl, you know?
Mhm.
Okay. But yeah, I just remember you just being like a really cool, chill, laid back type of girl, but keep in mind that I was also very observant and I ain't fooled with too many people.
Mhm. Same here.
So yeah, that's my favorite first memory of you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, she was right about that. I met her in chemistry class, and my boyfriend at the time, uh, we took fourth and fifth period together. So
Mm.
when I met her, that altercation, he was actually trying to holler at me, and I was like,
Mm.
and I'm the type of chick where if you was trying to spit game, oh, I dismantled it. I'm like, come to me correct. So yeah, I remember I'm
Mm.
like, Alex, can you give some guns so you can shut the fuck up? That's
See,
exactly
now
what I
I know because I was like, what's going on?
nah, and so and like I said, I'm with you at Whitehaven. I didn't necessarily I always said if you was in ROTC, I knew you. But
Okay.
outside of ROTC, it's a couple of people that I fooled with and I still fool with
Hmm.
to this day because I
Gotcha.
felt like, I felt like, I'm gonna be honest, I felt like everybody was super plastic.
Go.
Yeah,
I got some
everybody,
plastic right there.
yep, everybody was super plastic. Everybody was trying to, be this and be that. And, I felt out of place because I'm like, I'm a girl
Mm.
from LVG. I'm a real cool chick. I'm gonna tell it like a TI is. And I don't know if
Yeah.
you remember, I used to, wear my clothes, my Timberlands, my K Swiss, and when I vibe with you, I'm like, okay, we can vibe. And like I said, it's been 25 years.
Yeah.
It's been 25 years, but that's what happened, Alex. He was trying to Mac, and I was like,
Yeah, I be out of sight, out of mind. Like, ah, okay.
I was like,
Anywho,
he was because I think he was sitting behind me and you was sitting next to him, and I was like, girl, can you give him some gum? So he can shut.
you know me. I'm still the same person. Like, oh, okay, yeah, let me get you whatever you need to go. Ah, okay, still gonna be the same person.
But yeah, I heard you say something about the clarity room, and I think in this day and age where a lot of crazy shit is going on, people need that. They
For
need
sure,
clarity. And
for
the
sure.
fact that you said that, and I've done this before, and I'm not the only one that done it, had a vision board and be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this and that. And then I don't have a strategy after that. And I
Yeah.
remember the last time that I did a vision board at your event during Super Bowl uh last year, and I said that's my girl because usually during NFL season is God in the NFL. So uh I one of the visions that I had was I really want to get back on my podcast. And just
Mm.
so happened that happened. And what was your first vision board? Like, what was some of the things that was on your vision board?
I'll be honest. I hate vision boards. Um, but
It's
I
okay to
will
be honest.
say, like, I don't like vision boards because I feel like I absolutely positive. I just went to a vision board party last Saturday, and the vision board is sitting on my car seat in the back.
Mm.
I am honestly a person who does everything on my phone. I'm a journalist. I journal everything down. I write everything down. But there is something that I wrote down 13 years ago. It's been 13 years. I've been in business 13 years.
Mhm.
Um, and I literally was crazy. I was looking for something because everybody been doing this. We in 2026, so
Yeah.
everybody been doing with the 10 year what they did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was like, I wasn't doing that in 2020 2016, obviously, because I couldn't find any pictures. Maybe they just disappeared or something. I don't know. But I wrote down, I said in 2018, 2017, 2018, I was like, I want to have all of these events. Like, I was like, I want to do XYZ. And I was going through my phone because I was trying to do the 10-year challenge.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh my God. I hosted so many events.
Mhm.
And during that year of 2017, I wrote down all those things. I was like, okay,
Mm.
I want to have this event. I want to have this event. And at the top of the year, at the top of 2017 and at the top of 2018, I knew exactly what I wanted to do and I
Mm.
executed it. Keep in mind, my event that's coming up, vision, strategy, execution. In 2017 and 2018, I was all about executing. I
Mm.
didn't care how it was going to happen. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if I had the resources. And what I mean by resources, I'm talking about money. I
Mhm.
just did it. When it was time to sign the contract, I signed it. When it was time to pay the deposit for a venue, I paid it, whether I had the deposit to pay it or not. And so when I was going back through my Facebook and stuff, looking for pictures for 2016, I was like, God, how amazing are you that I was able to have all of those events? And it was countless of events that I was hosting,
Mm.
no matter if I had the money or not. And people showed up, but it wasn't about what word am I looking for? The
Quantity.
numbers, the
Mhm.
quantity. I was like, what's the word? The quantity of people. It was the quality, the
Mhm.
impact that I was showcasing for people. Like, people were like, oh my goodness, I had such a good time at your event, I learned so much. That's what I'm always looking for, because I
Mhm.
always pray and be like, God, I'm not looking for the quantity, I'm
You
looking
looking
for
for
the
quality.
end. Yes, and I'm always looking like, I need an impact. I want to hear, not that you have a good time, did you learn something, did you
Mhm.
get something from this event? So on my vision board, or when I do my journal, or write notes in my phone, because that's more effective for me. Because I ain't
Mhm.
got time to be cutting and pasting. This drives me insane. Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Same here.
I'm looking for. I'm writing down. Okay, in 2026, my goal this year is to be more focused, because I am a doom scroller. That's what they call it. Baby, I scroll all night. So
Yep.
uh
Right here.
I get up in the morning. That's the first thing I'm doing. Put the phone
Mhm.
down, Alex. So
Mhm.
um this year I'll say, okay, I want to be more focused. Okay, why? What's the reason? What are you doing? I want to make sure I get up in the morning and I pray. Okay, why? So say for instance, you may put on your vision board, I want to get a house. Okay, why? How you gonna get the house? That's a
Mhm.
strategy, creating strategy behind the picture, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it says faith without works is dead.
Yeah. So
But I did something like that, but I did a prayer jar. And I started
mm,
this prayer jar in 2021. And
gotcha.
I wrote down some things and I have it on my actual altar where I actually pray and everything else. And I didn't open it. I did not open it. I was like, just praying over it, praying over it. And then one day I pulled out some things. I said, "Oh, I want my daughter to get scholarships." She got
Mm.
scholarships. In fact, she's on the dean's list for nursing at
Oh,
Grand
wow.
Canyon University. So this is her sophomore year, and I said I want to get physically fit. That happened. I said I want my podcast to go to another level. It's
Mm.
happening. And what I am, and the thing is, and this is what I learned, is sometimes when you speak things and when you pray, you have to put belief behind it. And that was my problem. I'll just pray and be like, since I've been disappointed so many times, I don't know if this is gonna happen.
Mhm.
And you gotta be careful what you pray
Oh, yeah, for
for.
sure.
You have to, like, for example, I said, Lord, at the top of this year, I said, Lord, if somebody or somebody's is in my life right now that doesn't mean me any good, Lord, I want you to let them fall off. Little did I know it was my family members. I was like,
Oh,
"Oh,
wow.
wait a minute. I didn't think about that." And it's kind of a strange right now, even with me and my daughter. She's at that age where, she's trying to find herself, and how mother and daughter conflict,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, for sure.
last this morning I prayed and said, "Hey, I really want us to heal our relationship. And most importantly, I still want you to keep her."
Yeah.
So, but I definitely get it because, people do these vision boards, and we're gonna jump into this other point of the thing of New Year's resolutions. And that's my next episode. Like, do we need a resolution? So y'all gonna get a
Do
sneak
you?
peek. Do we need a resolution? I think New Year's resolutions is pointless. So you telling me out of 365 days, when January 1st comes up, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, woo, 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 woo. And then by, let's see, February, March, you back to the same stuff again.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna tell you my opinion, and I would love to hear your opinion. I don't think New Year's resolutions shouldn't start on January 1st. I think New Year's resolutions should start on your birthday, because
Mm.
you're turning another year, older. Not just to, okay, celebrate. I'm finna turn up and, invite my friends and do this and do that. It's the time for you to reflect, like, okay, what do I want to do since
Mhm.
I am in this age? And I think that it won't put a lot of pressure on people to say, okay, January 1st, I gotta get it together. Now, if your birthday is in January, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But like for me, my birthday is in October
Mhm.
6th. And I just started this year because I was like, okay, Tiffany, what do you want to do? And I said, okay, I want to be more transparent. I said,
Mhm.
because I have a lot of stories. And then most importantly, I want to be an advocate. And I think, and that's a simple formula. Like I said, you ain't gotta wait till January the 1st. Just start on your birthday and say, okay, write down some things. Okay, what do I want to achieve this year since I am this age?
Mhm.
So, your opinion on New Year's resolutions?
Well, I don't really set New Year's resolutions. Now, I might think about it. Like I said earlier, one thing that I did say I want to do this year, and I had already been saying that a little bit last year, like I want to get a little bit more focused. But I will say, if you didn't do it last year, you're not gonna do it this year. um, and if you
Facts.
feel like, I think that personally, if you feel like New Year's resolutions work for you, fine. And if they don't, stop setting them.
Yes.
Uh, I feel like do what works for you. I've never heard what you just said. I think that's really good. Like,
Yeah,
if you, but I believe in setting goals all through the year.
that's actually pretty good. Yeah.
If you say, January, February, and March, I'm going to set 3 goals. 3 goals, 3 goals, 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 3 because I'm an advocate for setting small goals.
Yes.
Because when you okay, I got 10 goals I want to set for the whole year. Okay, by the time March get here, baby, did you even accomplish one?
Did you
Okay,
even think about one?
because by the time week 3 here, you said, okay, I ain't eating no more French fries, and baby, Wednesday, baby, you already in line at McDonald's because
Yep.
I'm confused. So here's the thing: you have to know yourself, okay,
Mhm.
and you have to know how you can sustain, how you can hold yourself back. You got to know what you can and what you cannot do,
Mhm.
and that's just realistic. And that's whether it's with food, it's with business, it's with life. So setting a New Year's resolution, it works for some people and it doesn't work for others. But can you set a goal? And
Mhm.
that is realistic. Let's set
Yes.
a goal, and whatever works for you might work for me, and what works for you don't work for me, and what works for me work for me, and what don't, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, because we talked earlier and I was like, I said, one day, my dream, and I spoke it into existence. I said, I would love to have a studio.
For
I would
sure.
love to have a studio. And I know that studio is coming. I've been seeing visions, but I would
Yeah.
love to have a studio to have guests in there. And when you said the 10-year thing, this is what it hit me yesterday. And this is so, so personal. It hit me while I was cleaning, and I said, damn, it's been 10 years since I was diagnosed with epilepsy.
Well,
And I was like, it's this monkey that's on my back. And a lot of people that don't know, epilepsy, it's got a bad stigma to it. And unfortunately, in the African American community, we're mostly affected by it, but we don't
yeah.
speak out. But that was always, I said, dang, this monkey is on my back. And then the spirit told me, okay, the monkey is on your back. Now what you gonna do about it?
Right.
Because I
Absolutely.
like,
Hello.
yeah, I was like, oh, okay, let me set a small goal. Okay, at least let me be 3 months seizure free. And right now, as it stands, I'm going into 6 months seizure free. Hopefully, you know what? Not hopefully. The goal is to go into one
And you
year,
will.
2 years, 3 years. I know. But it's crazy because time goes by so fast. And when I say the monkey on my back, unfortunately, with some of the medications that I am taking, it's causing me to forget. It's causing me for my speech to be kind of delayed. And I was always that person that could speak very fluently and, promptly and have these words. But the fact that, I can't speak those words anymore or I forget them, I was like, okay. And then once again, spirit led me and said, okay, turn your weaknesses into strengths and help
Absolutely.
somebody else. And
And let
trust
me let
me.
me say this while you talking, because I
Mhm,
got
go
to
right ahead.
interrupt because you have you mm-mm, you dealing with epilepsy, just like I'm dealing with MS. And although it's not the same, but it's one and the same, and we
Mhm,
taking similar medications. And yes, we forget. And
mhm.
yes, we may not talk the same anymore. Because I noticed some of the same things. I'm like, all right, God, now I know I ain't dumb, you
Yeah.
know. And so one thing that I have to do sometimes, because I had to pray about that thing too. Like, all right, God, what's up? What's going on? Because I feel a little slow here.
Mhm,
Um, and he said, okay, use your phone. And sometimes I feel like I can't spell certain things. And I'm like,
mhm.
now, hold on, now, what's
Come on.
up? But at the same time, you're still able.
Mhm,
So you're still able, you still have the capability to do things. And so you just have to keep praying and keep doing, because the thing is, There are so many people that are in our situation that are not able. They can't do.
That's a word right there.
So because they can't do and you still can, keep
Mhm.
pushing. So and that those are the goals that I mean, like we can still set. Like, okay, I might not feel like I can't, but can I?
Mhm.
And so what's the next goal? All right. My medicine making me feel some kind of way, or it got this side effect. Okay, how can I overcome? So you keeping your mind active and learning how to, okay, how can I use a spell check on my phone, or how can I use voice recognition and all the things so I can keep their brain stimulated and all the things, because you have people out here who don't like to take their medicine. When
Mhm.
people tell me that, I look at them and be like, you don't like to do what? Why? What's the problem? Because I get the fussing at them because we still want to live a healthy life because, honey, we're only 40, 41. We're in our 40s. Are you crazy?
Yep.
So,
Yep,
anywho,
that's one of the things that I did with getting this book, my little ideas that said get shit done.
hmm, hello?
Where I would write down different episodes that'll come to me. Okay, this because I'll just forget. And
Yeah.
but what you said was very, very powerful. And I didn't think about that. Instead of, focusing on, oh, my speech is this, and, I'm, stuttering, and my memory is I'm losing my memory. And I didn't think about, some people, because the type of seizures that I have is three type of seizures: is absent seizures, where you're just staring into space, and there's petite mile, which is the one that I have,
Hmm.
and it's definitely staring into space, but it's kind of, it's on a medium level. And then
Hmm.
I call her the big mama, which is grand mile seizures,
Mm.
where you can't drive and you seize out. And in my situation, where I'm in the middle, either that it could get better or it can get worse. So
Mm.
I didn't necessarily, think about that, like, oh my gosh, I got to take all these medicines and the medicines. And I know you understand them medicines make you feel like, ugh, I don't want to
Hmm.
do anything.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
And
for sure.
but I want to open up the floor to you and talk about, your MS journey.
What you want to know, girl?
Look, tell,
What you want to know? I'm gonna have to put this
okay.
here phone on the charger, but
Well, what I'll open it up for you.
Okay.
When I first got diagnosed with epilepsy. Now, need I
Hmm.
remind you, epilepsy does not run in my family. That's the
Yeah.
crazy part about that. And how it happened was, and I'm so glad I went to the doctor.
Yes.
I was in my closet, and my husband, I will give him credit for
Girl,
that.
you are
uh,
killing me with it.
I'm trying to get that trademarked. So if
Was
you
then is crazy. I love it though. I've never heard
trying to,
anybody say that before.
yes, I'm instead of saying ex-husband, my was
Hmm.
then. Uh
Gotcha.
uh I was in the closet,
Hmm.
and he was like, I kept looking for CDs and said I gotta take my mom to Walmart. And my
Wow.
mom passed away 2 years before, in
Hmm.
2014. And all of a sudden I went to sleep,
Hmm.
and I woke up and I told him, I said, something don't feel right.
Yeah.
So I checked myself in to the hospital, and I'm waiting, and the doctor comes in and he says, do you have a history of seizures in your family? I'm like,
Hmm.
no. He was like, well, unfortunately, you have epilepsy. And I was 30
Hmm.
years old. I just turned 30. My daughter was like in elementary school, and it was just a up and down battle, and I didn't like the doctors here because they kept on giving me medicine. I'm still having it. I went to a specialist, still giving me medicine, still having, and I ended up telling the guy, like, look at here, I'm 30 years old, you got to come up with something. So
Yeah.
that's when I got introduced to My doctor, Dr. Khalil at Vanderbilt University. When I say he is a lifesaver, he is a lifesaver. And when I got diagnosed, I just thought that was the end for me. And going forth, not like towards like year 5, I said, "Look at here, I'm not finna sit on my butt and have a woe is me party." I said I need to talk about this. That's why two things. That's why I wear purple a lot, because purple is the color of epilepsy. A lot of people think purple is my favorite color, but it's actually gold.
Hmm.
um and the biggest thing, which is my hair, which came which actually happened from an accident. My stylist, shout out to Maurice, he cut my hair and he was like, "Oh, I cut it low." And it was like so freeing. And the reason why I cut my hair, because people in my situation, they have to get EEGs where they have all these different wires. So I did that to show them, hey, you can still be bold and strong and still be an advocate. So where I'm at right now, I'm still spreading awareness. Like anytime somebody see me in purple, I do something in purple. They're like, "That's your favorite color." No, it's kind of slightly showing, giving awareness to say, "Hey, I have epilepsy, even though you don't see it,
Yeah.
but I have it. I still go on with my life. I still able to triumph, and I just want to let people know that you can make it through it. Don't be ashamed. Speak
Yeah.
out. You don't know who you're touching." So that's how I found out that I had epilepsy, and the trials and tribulations, and then coming into joy. So
Okay.
that's open. I opened that up.
Ah. Well, MS journey. Let's see. I was diagnosed in 2020. I got sick in 2019. I'll never forget the day, December the
Mm,
27th, of 2019. I think it was a little bit before, but December the 27th, I went into the hospital. Just to bag it up a little bit, I kept going to the minor med
mm,
a week before December the 27th because I was having what you may call muscle spasms, um, Charlie horses, um, in my arm and in my leg. It started out very, very mild. So I really didn't really think too much of it at first because I mean, I was like, oh, I'm having my Charlie horse. But then it went to my arm, and then I was like, okay, all right. And I remember distinctly, I was in my mom's kitchen, um, I don't even know what I was getting. I just
mm,
remember that my hand and everything just kind of just went weak.
mm,
And I was like, okay, all right. I don't know. And I fell on the floor. And my brother,
mm,
I guess he just got so nervous where he called 911. So they came, they checked my vitals, of course, and they was like, well, just go see your primary care doctor. And then from that point on, it just seemed like life just started to go downhill from there.
mm,
And I kept trying to just be okay, but I wasn't okay.
mm,
So I think the day after Christmas, I went to the bar and I used to drink very heavily.
You
And
already know me.
so I went to the bar, I went to go see my friend. He was a bartender. And so he had me drinking something, a drink that we used to call recession. Don't ask me what was in it. I don't know. But I
At least
called
look, at
him,
least you ain't drink the Three Horsemen. Trust me.
girl. I called him. I said, hey, friend. I said, what you put in the drink? I can't get home. He said, nothing. The same thing I normally put in there. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what. Mm. Anyway, I finally made it home. And I remember distinctly being in the pantry getting something now. And I said, God, I'm going to give you your yes. I
Mm,
remember saying it. And I guess he said, all right then, girl, I got you. And
I got you.
my whole life did a twisted, turned upside down. And I ended up in the emergency room. I went to see my primary care doctor. Let me back it up a little bit. I went to go see my primary care doctor because those muscle spasms that I was having began to progressively get worse and worse and worse. It started to feel like I was being electrocuted.
Mm.
But nobody, and this is how messed up the health care system is. Nobody would keep me. So I went to go. My mom was like, "Well, let's go see Dr. Green." Shout out to Christopher Green at the Green Clinic on Park. Went to go see him, and so he wrote in my paperwork. He said because when I was walking into his office, I had a muscle spasm, and his whole staff saw me. They had to go get a wheelchair because I could not walk. And he wrote in my paperwork signs of epilepsy. That's the only way that they would keep me at the hospital. So when he wrote that in my paperwork, that's the only way that Methodist Germantown would keep me.
Mhm.
And so when he wrote that in my paperwork, they took me back, did an MRI, and then that's when they said, "Oh, we found a spot." And when they found a spot, it took them 30 days to find out what the spot was, but I was in the hospital for 30 days. During that 30 days, that's when they found out that everybody was going to the hospital because people were getting sick because that's when COVID
Mhm.
happened.
Yep.
Um, so from that 30 days to that was January 2020 all the way to August of 2020, that's when I found out I had multiple sclerosis. But I was having those muscle spasms. In the MS world, it's called attacks.
Yeah.
So it took them from January of 2020 to March of 2020 to find it, to figure out what I had because nobody knew. So for 3 months, I had muscle spasms. So I felt like I was being electrocuted from my head
Yeah.
all the way down to my feet,
Mm.
to my arms. My arms and my legs would stretch out like I was literally being
Mm.
electrocuted because
Mm.
nobody could figure out what was going on. And shout out to Dr. El Honda. I think I'm saying his name correctly, but he used to work at Tri-State Neurology. I have no idea where he is today.
Mhm.
But he went in, he looked at my test results that I had. Immediately, he called out what it was. Immediately, he gave me some medicine called Topamax. And I'm talking about the moment that I took the medicine, that night, the muscle spasms stopped.
That's
I'm
what's
talking
up.
about everybody in my house, my mom, my brother, my dad was like, "What?" I'm talking about within an hour, they stopped. And I remember my dad telling me, he said, sometimes we are looking for God to miraculously
Mhm.
heal us, but God puts doctors and nurses and medicines on this earth to heal us. And we have to learn. That's why when I look at people crazy, when they say they don't want to take their medicine or they don't want to go see the doctor. Now, I do understand that God will heal us miraculously. I do understand that there aren't good doctors out here. I do
Mhm.
understand that. But you do have good doctors out here who don't pump you up with medicine. You do have good doctors out here who actually take care of you and listen to you. And when my doctor at the time, because I don't know where he is now, he took care of me. He made sure that I was okay. I'm talking about for a person that didn't know what was wrong with them for 3 months.
Mm.
All I was taking was prednisone, and
Yep.
you prednisone is ain't nothing but a steroid. They were just giving me prednisone just to really just pump me up with it for pain.
Mm.
But he gave me something to make sure that I would not have those attacks anymore because a MS attack is horrible for anybody, and it can affect you in any way. It can take your sight, it can take your ability to walk, and
Mm.
all of the things. So that journey was something to be. I wouldn't wish it on nobody. My worst enemy.
Mm.
Um, and so
Mm.
after that, the year after that, God was like, "Okay, girl, I got you. Let me give you something else to talk about. To share your testimony. I had blood clots on my heart and my lungs, and so I said, God, now,
Look at here.
what you trying to do?" And I walked around and I didn't know what was going on because again, people kept sending me home.
Mm.
But my mother I remember her saying, "How long my baby still sitting out here?" Um, so I had blood clots on my heart and my lungs,
Mm,
and I had to have emergency surgery while awake. They did not put me to sleep because they had to remove them
mm,
immediately. So my journey with MS and my journey with life-threatening blood clots, hey, I'm just grateful to still be here.
yes,
So
God. Yes,
I
God.
just I just tell people, do I have MS? Yeah. Is it a struggle? Uh, It is, but it's life. I live life day by day. I try
Mm-hmm.
not to complain. Um, and if people ask me about it, I'm gonna talk about it. If they don't, I'm still gonna talk about it. But I do not complain to nobody about nothing
Mm,
but my mama. This is it. Other than that, I ain't got nothing to complain about because God has kept me.
mm.
And that's the realest thing I can ever tell you.
Yeah, and complaining don't do anything. And that's why, one thing for certain, you got to thank God for the little things. And
Hello?
that's what I do. I get up and I say, "You know what? Thank you for, a roof over my head. Thank you, and I used to say, "You waking me up meaning I got another chance. It's time for me to do something." And just
Hmm.
to piggyback on the doctors, my doctor, Dr. Khalil at Vanderbilt, amazing, amazing
Yeah.
doctor. And I kept on telling him, I said, "Look, because they kept prescribing me Keppra. And please look up Keppra. I got 1,500 milligrams I had to take. It's stony, no baloney. Uh, so trust me. I'm not gonna get into the Keppra. That's
Oh
another
Lord.
episode. But I kept on telling Dr. Khalil, and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna put you in the hospital for a few days." So I had the little I called the Hellraiser things where they had it all over monitoring my brain activity. And when his one of the second doctors came in, I said, "Why do I have seizures?" And he said he drew on a board. He said, "Look at this tightrope right here." And I
Hmm.
said, "Okay." He said, "Imagine a fat lady swinging back and forth
Hmm.
until it breaks." And I'm like, "Okay, so what's that got to do with me?" And he said, he said, "What recently traumatic has happened to you?" And I'm like, I said, "Well, my mom died." And I said, a year after that, I had a miscarriage and I was in college. So I just kept going and going and going. And just to find out, I was a special case. And I'm like, "Okay, God, really?" Really? But I thank God for, everybody like, "Why you always gotta go to Nashville?" I don't care. I said that's like I said, Dr. Abu Khalil. Oh, he is the best. And one of the things that he did one time, anytime I've had a seizure,
Hmm.
he said, message him. It was one time I had a seizure one Sunday. I was with this guy. I ain't gonna say no names. We went to go see when
Hmm.
we went to go see when the bow breaks in Olive Branch on Malco Olive Branch.
Hmm.
And I don't remember anything. All I remember was I felt like I was getting sick. And he said that I just kept on saying, "Mm-hmm." And when I woke up and I saw everybody coming out the room and seeing the paramedics, I didn't think nothing of. I said, "Did she die? Did she get killed?"
Oh.
I was like, "Why everybody outside? Did she die? Did she get killed?" And they told me that I seized out and they had to stop the whole movie and, bring me out. And I'm like, "Oh my God." Uh but one thing I can say is that one thing that I can say is it's we in this society need people like us to speak life and see it
Yeah.
from a different lens, because right now the lenses are dark as hell. But uh but yeah, I before we open the doors of the church, uh
Oh, come on, Doors.
before we open up the doors of the church, um what is your best advice uh going into 2026? Like, what is your best? If look, you ain't got to go through the Rolodex,
Not the
just one.
Rolodex. My best advice right now in 2026 is to first of all buy you a new phone. Um, because I need to buy me a new phone. This one, but no, seriously. To be the best authentic you. Like,
Mm,
don't hold no bars. Um, Honestly, the best thing that I can say right now is if you have anybody around you that is holding you back from being yourself, let them go.
mm,
Um, and it
church
doesn't
told me.
mean that you have to, let me say this. I heard this today and it resonated with me, and I've heard it several times. Oftentimes, we form relationships with people through trauma.
Mm,
And I don't know why I'm saying this, but and maybe because I heard it today, and maybe somebody needs to hear this.
mm-hmm,
We form relationships with people through trauma, and we say, "Oh, that's my bestie," and then sometimes the relationships gets weird, and we don't know why. And sometimes it's because you are trying to heal, or
mm,
you are healing, and the other person thinks you're acting funny, and you're not. You're simply healing. You're simply going in a different direction. And that person is still stuck in their trauma. Or
mm,
they're just toxic anyway. And because you all have bonded over trauma, and
mm,
every time y'all used to talk, y'all talked over trauma. Y'all talked over toxicity.
okay.
And so because now in 2026 or in 2025, you was like, man, you know what? I don't want to live that life anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2026, it's very okay to let your loyalty die.
Ooh.
Let your loyalty die. It's no
Say that.
reason to
Say that again for the back of the church that came in late.
let let your loyalty die. And this is something that I'm learning. I don't really care how long I've been friends with somebody. I love my people. Anybody that knows me and knows I love you. I don't even have to talk to you every day. I love you, but I don't have no loyalty to nobody because guess what? You can switch up on me real quick.
Cold switch.
So let your loyalty die and be the best authentic you that you can ever be. Because we're at a point now where you have to learn how to do you. My mama
Mm-hmm.
used to tell me this all the time. Nobody is going to love you better than you. So at the end of the day, you got to choose you first. That's the
Mm.
bottom line.
Yes, yes. If I can give some advice and it's bestowed upon me, is tap into spiritual discernment, whatever you believe in.
Yes. Hello.
Because one thing about spiritual discernment, it protects you from certain energies and certain people. And if you feel like that little, okay, something ain't right, don't ignore it. You be
Mm,
like, okay, something is not right about this person. And I feel like, they're gonna keep me from my destiny. And, you don't have to, some people you do got to chuck up the deuces, but you can say, look, it's been real. It's been
mhm,
real. Right now we at two different levels in life. And, you need to, I just need for you to respect my wishes. And if I can give some advice for 2026, and Alex, you have inspired me to do this acronym today. It's
okay.
it's heal.
Mm,
Hope. Hope that you can get better. Engage in the process. Put action, put action into it. And in the end, love yourself.
mm. I love it. You gotta see me
Yeah, that's another thing I got to trademark.
Look, we gonna be spending some money on these trade
Yeah,
phones.
we go put was been and heal and stuff like that. I should get a shirt that said I had a was been. They gonna be like, what?
Yes, get it. Was that should be the next
Yeah,
podcast.
was
Was been.
been.
They
So
like what?
any ladies out there, don't say ex-husband for 2026. Say was been.
Look, I'm finna put it on Facebook now. Was
Has
been.
been.
Was been. They gonna be like, what?
What? But definitely hope, engage, act, and love. That's healing altogether. And just now that I'm 41, I'm finally getting into the healing phase. I'm finally healing myself and, taking accountability. And,
Yeah,
accountability, oh my God, is important. But that's a whole nother topic for a
that's a whole
whole
nother
nother day.
conversation.
That's a whole nother topic.
That's a
But
whole nother conversation. Just take that
I
account. Yeah.
Oh, so we about to end it. The doors of the church are open. You can come by letter.
You can come by a letter
And Christian, come on in the
down in the
room.
room.
Come on. Jesus is my doctor. He writes all my subscriptions.
Mm, mm,
But
mm.
Alex, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I did good. I didn't cry. Uh thank you so much for coming on here and speaking these words of wisdom.
Yes.
I pray that, it reaches people. I said, whatever comes from the heart, it reaches from the heart, reaches to the heart. So I really, really do appreciate you. And girl, I love you.
I love you
I
too,
love you.
girl.
I love you. So we gonna wrap it up for tonight. My special guest, A Nicole. I put her website, A Nicole Foundation, in the description box. And like I said, once again, if you are a business owner or you just want to come on and tell your story, go ahead and email me at unapologetically tete@gmail.com. And my new slogan is you have, yes, you, everybody on the sound of my voice, you have the right to tell your story unapologetically. Peace and blessings.
Bye.
Ah!